Namaste and welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua, and today we're going to physically focus on strengthening the core. What is the core? We'll talk about it when we begin. You may want to have a couple of blocks and a strap and find a comfortable way to start seated. Maybe placing a block, 2 blocks side by side on their lowest height like this so that you can sit up a little higher, allowing your knees to drop open a little easier if you're choosing to sit cross-legged. So last practice on our Flow and Restore on the new moon, I talked about how to create a sankalpa, which is something that we do at the beginning of every yoga practice, set an intention. But I referenced an article from Yoga International written by Kelly McGonigal that had very specific steps on how to create a sankalpa and even a few definitions of sankalpa. The main definition I'd like to reference is that it is an affirmation of your true nature. So remembering that meaning of sankalpa, I want to share a little more from that article. And if you'd like to have the link to the article itself, feel free to send me a message. I'd be happy to share it. So the core practice of sankalpa is remembering. Once you've identified and planted the seed of your sankalpa, your intention, you can begin the process of strengthening sankalpa shakti, the energy to take the action required by your resolve. Every conscious choice you make is an opportunity to strengthen sankalpa shakti. So in the article, it talks about a practice called the departure point. And it's when you pick something non-constructive that you do on a regular basis, like an unwanted habit, gossiping, biting your nails, compulsively shopping on Amazon, or overeating, and commit to not doing it for 40 days. Now, it doesn't matter what habit you choose as long as it is a habit. It could be related to your sankalpa, but it doesn't have to be. When you come to that moment of impulse, when the urge for the non-constructive habit arises, instead of following your usual instinct, bring your sankalpa to mind. Remember that sankalpa can be a proclamation of a quality that is part of your true nature, such as I am peace, or I am loving awareness. And as you bring it to mind, in this way, the habit becomes a reminder that points you back to your resolve. In the space between the impulse to act and reciting your sankalpa, it's important to pause and invite the mind to settle into a state of oneness. Enjoy a few mindful breaths and find the pause between the breaths. Take a moment to remember your true self nature. In that state, a place of wholeness and unity, not a place of confusion or lack or even hope. Remember your sankalpa. Instead of referring to missteps, those moments when you repeat the unwanted habit, as failures, you can see them as times of simply moving away from yourself. The sankalpa really describes who we are and how we move in the world when we are in harmony with ourselves. Life just happens to be the process of learning how to align with that true nature. So remember to be kind to yourself when you occasionally lose your way. And so with that in mind, let's start to check in with what's present within ourselves as we begin our practice. Begin to notice how your body feels right now by maybe closing the eyes and mentally scanning throughout your body. Sensing the breath just as it is. Notice its qualities. Feeling its depth, pace, and noticing your energy. Bring your awareness to your mind. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally? Being present with what is. Start to deepen your breath. Allow a few long exhales through your mouth. Feel the breath in take up more and more space. As you deepen the breath consciously, notice how you're cultivating a space of awareness. Working with what's here right now within you. What is something you can appreciate about this present moment or about yourself? With gratitude in your heart, clarify your sankalpa, whether it be repeating the sankalpa for your new year, new moon, from our last practice, or a new sankalpa for today. What is your intention that connects you back to your true nature? And as a way to let go of the ego as we practice, we can offer up our efforts to something or someone beyond ourselves. So choose someone or something to dedicate your practice to. And together, let's join our voices, chanting the sacred sound of Om, pausing in silence after each of 3 rounds. Inhale a little deeper. Let's continue to cultivate present moment awareness through the breath while helping to relax and focus our minds and bodies, practicing Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breath. So as you close your lips, breathing through the nose, softly constrict the back of your throat, creating a gentle whispering sound. Lengthen your in-breath as slowly as your out-breath, taking your time to create a slow, intentional rhythm. And try to maintain that consistent rhythm throughout our physical practice, especially as we move through Vinyasa, breath-led movement. And so tuning into that sound, gently open your eyes if they're closed, and start to make your way onto tabletop pose, hands and knees on the floor. So set your hands at the top of your mat, spreading your fingers wide and flat. so that your index fingers are pointing either straight forward or slightly turned out. Stack your shoulders right above your wrists and step your knees directly under your hips. Lengthen your spine through both ends and lift through the sides of your belly. Your abdomen, a large part of your core that we're strengthening through our practice today. So lengthen your neck too. Gaze on the ground ahead of your thumbs. Wrap your triceps, these outer parts of your upper arms, towards the back of your mat, spreading the shoulder blades apart. Slightly lift the space between them. Keep the breath steady and now start to straighten the left leg behind you, tucking the toes on the floor. Press the instep of the left heel back. Keep lifting through the sides of the belly and drawing your chest forward. Can you still hear your breath? Now begin to raise the right arm forward like you're about to shake someone's hand. Lift the upper arm alongside your right ear and draw the right shoulder back. Palm facing the left wall. How's your breath? Keep lifting through the sides of your belly, drawing the shoulder blades both down the back. Now, if your balance feels okay with it, also lift your left toes off the ground. Still flexing the left foot, lifting the heel to the height of the hip. Keep lifting through the sides of the belly. Now, you could opt to place the right hand down to add more support for your balance if you need, or add some movement to the breath. As you breathe in, keep reaching through your right fingertips, left heel back. And as you breathe out, contract your belly and round the back, bending the right elbow and left knee towards touching. Inhale, if you're moving, reach long. Exhale, contract at the abdomen. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Slow, intentional movements. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. Keep lifting through the sides of the belly. Exhale, lower hands and knees to the ground. Let's spin out the fingertips. Stretch the inner sides of your wrists and forearms. Taking 3 rounds of cat-cow. As you breathe in, glide your chest forward and roll your shoulders back and down, looking up. As you breathe out, contract your abdomen, drop your head, and round your back. Twice more, breathe in, coil your chest up, stretch the abdomen. Breathe out, contract the abdomen, drop the head, and round the back. Last one. Then relax to a neutral spine. Point the index fingers forward again. Draw the shoulder blades down the back, lengthen the neck, gaze on the ground just ahead of your thumbs, and wrap your triceps towards the back wall. Engage the sides of the abdomen and straighten the right leg back. Tuck the right toes on the floor and press the inner heel actively towards your rear wall. Keep the pelvis centered here. Steady the breath and raise the left arm forward like you're about to shake someone's hand. Lifting the upper arm alongside the left ear, draw the shoulder blades back. Press the ground away with the right hand and lift through the sides of the belly. Maybe add lifting the right toes flexed off the floor so the heel is the height of your right hip. You can always set the left hand down if you need more support. Keep lengthening through your center line, stay still, or begin to move to the breath where you inhale, reach long, and exhale, contract at the abdomen, bringing left elbow, right knee towards touching. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. And set your hands and knees to the ground. This time, lean back onto your shins and make fists out of your hands. Let's stretch the outer sides of your wrists and forearms. Give yourself a fist bump like this. Keep that. And place the backs of your fists onto the ground about a foot in front of your knees. Flaring your bent elbows off the ground, slowly shift your weight forward until you can find the amount of intensity you want to feel in the stretch. Now relax the neck. Maybe even gently move your head to help relax the neck. Listen to a few more cycles of breath. And then lean back on your shins again, shake out your hands, roll out your shoulders, and make your way into mountain pose, standing at the front of your mat. Step the feet hips width apart, parallel to each other. You may like to have blocks in front of your feet if you want to press your hands on blocks instead of pressing the floor when we come into half forward fold. Let's join the hands in prayer in Padasana. Come back to the feeling of your sankalpa, the intention you're practicing with. Cultivating gratitude for the sun. Let's practice our sun salutations. Surya Namaskar C to start. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gently coil your chest up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Plant your fingertips outside of your heels. Inhale, step your left knee behind you into a kneeling lunge and gaze up. Hold your breath and step to plank. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin. Inhale, slide forward, entering Cobra Pose. Exhale, draw your hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb, lower your right knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, root to your feet and rise to the top. Exhale, join your palms in prayer at your hearts. Second side, inhale, sweep your arms overhead and gaze up towards the sun. Exhale, bow in towards the earth. Lower your fingertips. Inhale, step your right knee back and gaze up. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Ashtangasana, exhale, lower knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Draw your shoulder heads back. Exhale, Downward Dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift the hips back. Inhale, step your right foot beside your right thumb. Lower your left knee and gaze up. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Rooting down, inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, arms and heart up. Exhale, join your hands in prayer at your hearts. Let's move on to Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Press your hands on your blocks, shins, or the floor. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward to half forward fold. Step back to plank and pause. Let's pause there for a few breaths. Lengthen the neck, wrap your triceps towards the rear wall. You can always set the knees down for added support right under the hips. If your legs are straight, firm your inner heels back. Activate the muscles in your legs, especially your quadriceps. Lift the sides of the belly. Lengthen the neck, draw the shoulder blades back. Now on an exhale, we're just gonna lower halfway down and pause. So glide forward, graze the elbows towards the ribs, pause in Chaturanga, lift the sides of the belly, lengthen the neck, shoulder blades back, legs strong, and then flip the toes. Upward facing dog or cobra, breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause, steady your gaze, tune into 2 more slow breaths. On emptied breath, walk or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, again fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead. Exhale, hands together at the heart, Padasana. Now let's flow through Surya Namaskar A. One breath each posture. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank. Exhale, glide forward. Lower through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Tune into 2 more slow breaths. On emptied breath, walk or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Padasana. So let your feet come together to touch, and let's prepare for sun salutation B. Inhale, bend your knees together in chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, shift forward and hinge from your hips, Uttanasana. Press with your hands, inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank or float to Chaturanga, and lower in your version of your Vinyasa. When you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale the foot beside your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, lower into your version of your Vinyasa. Downward dog, side 2. Inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale the foot beside your left thumb, spin the right heel down. Inhale, rise to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, lower, Vinyasa. Pause in downward dog for at least 2 more deep breaths, resteadying the pace of your breath. When you're ready, empty the breath, then walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat. Uttanasana, feet together. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, rise up. Let's step the feet apart, hips distance, parallel, and bring the hands behind you to clasp. Draw the shoulders back, breathe in, look up. Bend your knees as needed so that as you exhale to fold, your spine feels more like flat back, not rounding the back or shoulders. Let your head fall easily, relax the neck, stretch the arms away from the lower back to open up the front of your shoulders, lifting the shoulder bones away from the ears. Tilt your weight as far forward as you can balance. Couple more deep breaths. Pausing here, notice your energy. How does it feel right now? So honoring that, choose to either flow through another vinyasa, take a few rounds of cat-cow, or step right into downward facing dog. Let's meet there. From downward facing dog. Keep your 2 hips even in height and inhale, lift your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee towards your nose, activate the abdomen here. And softly step the foot beside your right thumb. Stay high on the ball of your left foot and inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Spin the left heel down and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Open the arms into warrior two. Steady your gaze, just past your right hand, and let's be here in full awareness of the breath. Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten the right leg and perhaps shorten your stance a couple inches for triangle pose. Glide your hips sideways towards your back wall. Lengthen your torso towards your front wall and lower the right hand down into your right shin or blocker the ground just to the right side of the shin, raising the left arm up. Lengthen the right side of your torso by tacking the right hip crease back towards your left outer heel. Lengthen the crown of your head forward and glide the shoulder blades down the back. Spinning your chest slightly to face the sky, steady your eyes on one focal point. Now, option to stay in this classical version of Trikonasana or to add a little more core strengthening into the side muscles of your core, your obliques. To do so, bend your right knee slightly and raise both arms overhead so the palms face each other, like you're squeezing the widest width of the block between your palms. Glide the shoulders and hips towards the back of the mat. Keep spinning your chest slightly towards the sky and tune into a few more deep breaths. Let's prepare for half moon pose. Gaze on the ground ahead of your right toes. Walk the right fingertips forward and to the right of your right foot on a block or the floor. Drag your left foot forward and flex it off the ground and turn your chest to face the left wall. Recreating the shape of triangle pose, but balancing on one leg. Feel free to explore any version of this posture you know or would like to play with as we tune into a few more breaths. Ardha Chandrasana. Take your time to step the left foot back. Arriving at warrior two, flip the right palm to face up. Inhale into peaceful warrior, side bending towards your rear wall. Exhale your hands to the floor, downward facing dog, or add a vinyasa of your choice. From downward facing dog, keep your hips leveled and inhale, raise your left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee high towards your nose and step the foot gently beside your left thumb. Stay on the ball of your right foot. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. And exhale, open to the right in warrior two, aligning heel to arch. Right away, land your gaze gently just ahead of your left hand and tune in to the quality of your breath. Triangle pose. Straighten your legs, perhaps shorten your stance a couple of inches. Glide your hips towards the back wall. Lengthen your torso towards the front. Lower your left hand on the shin or just to the left of it, maybe on a block, and raise the right arm straight up. Tack the left hip crease back as you lengthen your crown forward, sliding both shoulder blades down your back. Spin your chest slightly to face up, landing your drishti, your gaze. Now stay in the classical version of Trikonasana or add the core strengthening, oblique strengthening posture version where you micro bend the left knee, And raise both arms overhead, palms facing each other like you're squeezing the wide width of a block between your hands, while drawing the hips back, lengthening the torso forward, and still spinning the chest slightly to face the sky. Tune into the breath. Half moon pose. Walk your left fingertips ahead of your left foot to the left and drag your right foot forward, flexing it off the ground. Ardha Chandrasana. Feel free to explore the version you did on the first side. Take your time stepping the right foot back down, re-entering warrior two. Flip your left palm to face up. Inhale, side bend into peaceful warrior. This time, rise to stand and step up to the front of your mat in mountain pose. Let's bring the feet together to touch here. Connecting with the breath. Bend your knees together, join your hands together, and let's prepare to twist in chair pose. Inhale, draw the hips back, lengthen the spine forward. Keep your hips still and exhale, begin turning your rib cage to your right. Tack the left hip crease back, not turning the pelvis. Continue to turn the rib cage, maybe hooking left elbow outside of right thigh. Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair pose. Sit a little lower if you can. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale, rise up, mountain pose. Pause for a deep breath. Sink your hips again. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Keep your hips and legs still, and exhale, begin twisting to your left. Parita Utkatasana, twisting chair pose. Sit a little lower if you can. Extend the arms forward. And then slowly lower your pelvis to sit. Catch the backs of your knees and kick your legs forward, feet together, boat pose, Navasana. You can hold on to your legs. You can place your hands on the floor, or you can extend the arms forward. Stay still. Or for 5 cycles, let's connect movement to breath in half boats. Inhale, lower halfway down, Ardha Navasana. Contract the belly, exhale, rise to boat. Navasana, that's 5. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, 4. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, 3. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, 2. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, 1. Cross your shins, plant your hands and jump to Chaturanga, or step into plank pose. Take your vinyasa or not. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, cross the knee to left tricep, twisting in plank. Inhale, raise the right leg back. Still more strengthening for the obliques, the sides of the core. Exhale, touch outer right upper arm in plank. Step the foot beside right thumb. Spin left heel down. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Now you may want to have a strap as we place the arms in cow face pose, Garudasana. So holding a strap from the left hand, if you might use it. Raise the left arm. Wrap the left tricep forward and bend the elbow behind your head. Press your shoulders down, lift your chin off the chest, and reach the right hand behind you from underneath. Catch the bottom and the strap, and walk your hands as close together as you can. Now, if your hands meet to clasp, then you can let go of the strap. Try to keep your elbows pointing up and down, not side to side. Seal in the bottom of your front ribs, squaring both hips to face forward, landing your gaze. Let your awareness be present with the breath. Come back to your sankalpa, maybe saying it mentally here. And how are you bringing that sankalpa shakti, that resolve, that energy to follow through with the actions needed to support your sankalpa through this practice here? Bring the hands together in prayer, or reach the arms overhead and interlace the fingers except the index. Tilt your torso diagonally forward, hovering the belly just above the front thigh as you draw the right hip back. Degasana. Lift the sides of the belly, lengthen the neck, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Feel the squaring of your hips forward, long spine, even breaths. Start to shift your weight entirely forward into Warrior 3, lifting the left leg from the inseam, flex the foot, and turn both hips to face the ground equally, long to your midline. You have the option of lowering the hands on blocks if you need more support here. Virabhadrasana 3. Start to step the ball of the left foot back, then the left knee down. Bring your hands on top of your right hip crease and press the top of the right thigh down as you lift the frontal hip bones and draw the shoulder heads back. Anjaneyasana. Keep the hands here or reach the arms overhead. Maybe the palms come together to touch. Lower your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Gather in deep breath. Open the mouth wide, release any sound. Lion's breath. Seal the lips again. Inhale, raise the left leg back. Exhale, cross the knee towards the right tricep. Inhale the left leg back. Exhale the knee towards the left tricep. Step the foot beside left thumb. Spin the right heel down. Grab your strap and rise to Warrior 1. Now, you may or may not use the strap, but at least you have it handy for the option. Raise the right arm. Dangle the tail of the strap behind your back. Rotate the right tricep forward and bend the elbow behind your head. Reach underneath behind you with the left hand and catch the bottom end of the strap. Walk your hands as close together as you can. If your hands meet to clasp, then you can let go of the strap. Try to point your elbows either up or down, not side to side. Lift the chin, parallel to the floor. Seal the bottom of your front ribs in. Squaring your hips to evenly face forward. Steady your gaze softly. Steady your breath softly. Perhaps mentally reciting your sankalpa. Cultivating that inner resolve. As we're practicing physically with strengthening the core, has a lot to do with the solar plexus chakra, Manipura chakra, that of willpower strength, balance with the ego, and your resolve to protect what you value. Join your hands in prayer at your heart, or raise the arms straight overhead and interlace the fingers except the index. Keep the hips square and bow diagonally forward with a long spine, hovering the belly off of your left thigh. Degasana. The element of the solar plexus chakra is fire. This is about stoking your inner fire of will, balanced with kindness to yourself, harmony, and peace. Let's shift forward into warrior 3. Lift the right leg from the inseam and flex the foot. Lengthen through the midline of your body and square your hips to face the ground. Feel the steadiness and balance of your breath. The back muscles of your body, some of which you're activating here too, are part of your core. Step the ball of your right foot all the way down. Lower the right knee, Anjaneyasana. Press your 2 hands on the very top of the left thigh and lift your frontal hip bones. Draw your shoulders back. Keep your hands here or raise the arms overhead, together or apart. From here, step into plank pose, top of a push-up. Bring your feet together to touch and press the inner heels back. Lift through the sides of the waist. Try to keep your pelvis from seesawing to the left or to the right while you lower into forearm plank pose, placing the elbows on the floor, right under your shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Gaze just ahead of the thumbs. Lift the sides of the belly and breathe. Start to walk the toes forward, lifting the hips. Press the fronts of your thighs back. Dolphin pose. You can relax the neck and drop the head, bearing no weight on it. Or come into headstand if you practice Shirshasana. Or in dolphin, raise one leg for a few breaths and raise the opposite leg for a few breaths. We'll meet eventually in child's pose. When you arrive in child's pose, let your whole body rest in stillness, giving yourself at least 2 or 3 breaths here. Notice the sensations in your body. And then start to rise up to stand on your knees. And let's prepare for 2 rounds of camel pose, Ustrasana. So let's grab a block for the first round, add some additional support for the lower back. Take the skinniest width of your block and hug it firmly between your knees and thighs. Tuck your toes on the ground behind you and backstroke your arms. Place your hands on your lower back, fingertips face down. Draw your tailbone actively towards the ground between the knees. Spiral your inner thighs towards the back wall. Lift your back ribs, so actively lengthen your lower spine. As you breathe in, lift your chest and draw your shoulder heads back. Hug your elbows closer and closer together to broaden your collarbones. Right under your shoulder blades, tilt your chest up. Count about 5 or so breaths before you rise up and find a comfortable way to sit to rest. Now in camel pose, you might also lower one hand to hold a heel that's right beneath it, and then switch hands, switch heels. Or if you can keep your pelvis stacked right above your knees, While doing so, lower both hands to hold both heels. Keep pressing your hips forward, making sure to support your lower back and not overarching it. You might arrive in hero's pose, sitting on a block between your ankles when you're ready to rest. Maybe resting 2 hands at your heart center as you tune in for a few breaths. Take your second and last round of Ustrasana on your own for 5 or more breaths. If you reach your heels with the toes tucked and you want to go further into the back bend, you can try untucking your toes, with or without a block, your choice. Just remember to keep your pelvis forward, right above your knees the whole time. Let's meet sitting when you're done. When you've rested for at least a few breaths, let's meet on your back for our last back bend in bridge pose. With or without a block between your knees and thighs, step your feet on the ground about hips distance apart and parallel to each other. Bring the arms down by your sides, lifting your hips, ground the shoulders, and tilt your chin back. Keep your thighs parallel to each other. Walk your upper arms closer together under your back ribs and keep your arms straight. If your hands meet, you might interlace the fingers. 5 or more breaths, your count. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. When you're done, let's meet in Supta Baddha Konasana, lying on your back, dropping your bent knees apart, and bringing the soles of your feet together to touch. Maybe resting one hand on your heart center and the other hand just below your belly button. Rest there for a few deep breaths. Then bring your hands to your outer thighs, draw your knees together, and find your way up to sit. Preparing for a seated spinal twist. Extend your left leg forward and bend your right knee. Step your right foot on the ground in front of your right hip, or cross the foot outside of your left knee, in which you might also bend your left knee. Choose the setup that allows you to evenly root your sitting bones while sitting tall and relaxed. Backstroke your right arm, lowering the fingertips behind your pelvis, and raise your left arm. Sit a little taller as you press into the ground. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right. Lower your left arm to hold your right leg, or hook your elbow outside of the thigh. And keep breathing, rooting down, rising up, and twisting. On your exhalation, unwind your spine. And let's cross the right shin forward or on top of the left shin so that you're either sitting cross-legged or you're in double pigeon pose where your ankles and knees stack. If you're in the ladder, make sure to flex your feet in order to stabilize your knees. Ground your sitting bones, lengthen your spine as you breathe in. And if it's available without rounding the back, start to fold forward as you breathe out. Inhale, slowly rise up, stretch both legs ahead, relaxing your feet. Let's set up for the twist. Step the left foot on the ground, either in front of the left hip or crossed outside of the right knee, or you might also bend the right knee. Backstroke the left arm, plant the fingertips down, and raise your right arm. Press into the floor and rise a little taller as you breathe in. Exhale, twist to your left, then lower your right arm, holding your leg or hooking your elbow outside of it. As you empty the next breath, unwind your spine and cross the left shin forward or on top of the right shin, sitting cross-legged or double pigeon with the feet flexed. Ground your sitting bones, lengthen the spine, inhale. And if it's available, without rounding the back, start to fold as you exhale. Press your hips, lead with your chest, breathe in to rise up. And let's straighten both legs forward. This time with both feet flexed, ground your sitting bones, preparing for seated forward fold. Option to place a strap around the balls of your feet. So flex your feet, lengthen your spine. Exhale, start to fold from your hips. Keep a slight lift at your chest. Hands holding onto your legs, the strap, or clasping your big toes. Paschimottanasana. Root down to your sitting bones, breathe in, and slowly rise up. Please find a comfortable way to sit for one more pranayama practice before we rest in corpse pose. I invite you into practicing box breathing or samavriti pranayama to help relax our nervous system even deeper, preparing for rest and preparing for meditation. So it's a grounding breathing technique, and to cultivate even more of that feeling of grounding, you can bring the thumb and index fingers to touch and let the palms rest face down on your lap. Sitting tall and relaxed, maybe close the eyes. Close the lips and continue to breathe through your nose. So box breathing goes like this. We'll inhale for a count of 4, hold the breath in for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and hold the breath out for a count of 4. That's one cycle. Let's practice 3 cycles together and continue 3 cycles on your own. When you're holding the breath, try to relax as you do it. Prepare to begin by emptying this breath. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Cycle 2. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue 3 more cycles on your own. When you finish, let go of controlling the breath. Observe how you feel. And as you're ready, gently lower your body to the ground completely, where you can lie down to rest in stillness for a few minutes of Shavasana. As you rest in stillness a little longer, you observe the way your body feels now, keeping your eyes closed. Take your time to gently move and stretch your body, maybe turning over slowly to your right side. Observing your breath without controlling your breath. Sense your energy. And gradually make your way up into a comfortable seated position for 5 minutes, sitting in meditation. Sitting tall and relaxed with an open heart space, grounded body. Maybe close the eyes. Just like a sankalpa is a way to remember our true nature, I see meditation as an opportunity to tune into our true nature. But just like the physical yoga poses, we can't do this by force. We need to relax into connecting with our inner being. So allow your whole body to feel as relaxed as possible while being alert. Breath is relaxed and natural. Sensing the breath coming and going. Letting outside movements and noise come and go. As you resolve to peacefully sit in your true nature. Breathing in, remember you are here right now. And breathing out, allow yourself to relax more deeply into your inner being. If you're able to sit in meditation even longer, feel free to continue on your own. Otherwise, notice how you're feeling now mentally and emotionally. And acknowledge something that you feel gratitude for. Say your sankalpa to yourself once more. And remember to whom or what you chose to offer this practice. If you're closing the practice together, let's join our voices in 3 ohms. Bowing in. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.